Hey, what is up, everybody? Everybody, what is up? Here again after a week off from Friday 13th for Friday 13th Part 4, the final chapter. Joined again, like I was 3 weeks ago, by Eric from Hey Internet. Eric here. What's going on, man?
Happy to be here, man.
Last time we had a hell of a time. First we did, and it was on Friday 13th. We did the show where we talked about Friday 13th. We gave our best butts and all that different kind of shit. And then we had a great watch along Friday 13th Part 2. The next night we did
Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, it was either next night or the night after that. Pet Cemetery, and you did a kick-ass job on that. I got a lot of comments on that, actually, man. Everybody loved us doing that. So
good. Well, maybe we'll be like the new Siskel and Ebert or something when we, or something like that, or at least Mystery Science Theater, something like that here. No, it's always a blast, dude.
Oh yeah, that's basically. I found that's basically one of two things works. You either have as far as chemistry goes, you got two people who have conflicting opinions. Or you just got two people who are friends who have a lot of respect for each other, and then it works out chemistry that way too. You know what I mean? Siskel and Ebert, they had respect, but they weren't exactly buddies. Like they didn't hang out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, see what we got here. Juno, hey, what's up, Juno?
Hey, Juno.
Ninja, what's up, Ninja?
Hey, Ninja. Ninja, congrats on your milestone, dude. Very happy for you.
Awesome, yeah. I gave him a congrats live the other night during did I do one too? No, Tuesdays when I did my Screen Factory. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm doing my Arrow at 3:00. So
yeah.
Just want to say we sadly lost two legends this week. George P. Wilbur, yeah, I heard about that. And Halloween 4 and 6 and Lanny Poffo, yeah, we were just talking about that.
They just released it out on the internet. Melinda Dillon passed away. From Harry and the Hendersons, Close Encounters, Christmas Story, yeah.
Now, was she in relation to Kevin and Matt Dillon?
No, not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. Air Force Spice, hey, what's up?
Hey.
How you doing? Thanks for coming through. Everybody give me that thumbs up if you would, like I said all week, so I can terrorize everybody.
Already got your thumbs up. Already got your thumbs up going, dude.
Cool. Appreciate that. Yeah, tonight is a lot of people's favorite. We were going to come in a little bit earlier and talk about the new Camp Crystal from Peacock, but we'll fit that in along here. We had to do family time instead. But this is a lot of people's favorites. You can kind of see why. I will say one thing for it, and I do like it. It's not my favorite Jason. Brooker is my favorite, but Ted White does a great job. And I would say as far as the slasher goes, this is probably trope-wise, this covers every single. It checks every box. This is probably the most quintessential slasher that I've ever seen.
I think it helps that the director, Joseph Zito, he did The Prowler, so he knew what he was getting into, back in '81, and this is just less than 5 years later. So
you got Savini coming back in.
Yep.
Simply so he could kill off Jason.
That's the only reason why he said he wanted to do it. He wanted to kill off his creation, and then what happens a year later? Nothing stays dead. But he knows that.
But this is 1984. This is back in the time when that wasn't necessarily a guarantee. I mean,
That's true.
He probably really did think he was going to keep him dead.
That's true, because we only had 2 Halloween films with Michael Myers in it at the time, and Freddy came out in '84, so
yeah. So I mean, a lot of this shit was still new. You know what I mean? So
there weren't really any franchises.
Yeah, I think this is probably this one in Part 6 is everybody's favorite. Mine, of course, too. But I over the years, of course, I haven't seen this one at the theater. Also, I've seen 1 through 8 at the theater. My mom took me to see this one too, and then 5 and on and on and on. And this one. This has got, I've talked about a lot of my favorite different girls in it. Well, this one, the one that plays Sam, one is treated so badly by her boyfriend, and done that so good. I find myself feeling for her in this.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Especially Ted White sticking up for her when we get to the scene with the raft. But yeah, I liked her a lot. Yeah, she was just there to have fun, and then her boyfriend just turns into a cock, and it's just awful. But he gets what he deserves when we get to that point, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah. Why he wanted to go for I don't know.
The Doublemint twins, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Of course, we also got Kristen Glover in here, Lawrence Monison, Peter. I always wonder why Kimberly Beck didn't do more. You know what I mean? This is, because I thought she did a really good job in here. I mean, you pick who the final is here, her or Corey Feldman. You got the final girl, and then you got one of the first final guys. He's still the final guy.
And if you think about it, this is the only Friday the 13th movie Jason's taken out by a male.
Right. And well, Survivor.
Right.
I'm getting better at that.
You are, dude. I totally missed it this time.
Because that's the way I like to think about it. To me, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been said so many times over the last 20 years that it's gotten something in my brain. How is everybody out there? As a matter of fact, yes, how we're doing. How you guys doing? Oh man. Yeah. I am ready. I have it set right here. I got it right here. It's right here on the Paramount, right before it says Paramount. As a matter of fact, I got it.
Yep, I got it at 00, and it's just showing the mountains, no stars, nothing.
I got 00.2, so we're pretty much.
We're close enough. You got your volume checked?
Yeah.
I got mine. I got captions on mine, so I'm all good.
So do I. I do both, and just so I can hear it just a little bit, so I can get the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I was gonna ask you something, but I forgot. I don't remember.
You'll remember it.
If anyone working as usual, yeah.
See, that's what I like about Ginger. He'll still stop by even though when he's on the clock.
A lot, yeah, a lot. If anybody needs any time, let me know. I'm guessing no, and if not, I will. I'll be giving a timestamp like I always do every few minutes. So I'm ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, here we go. I'm trying to think. This was up until, still back in the VHS days. I was really into watching. That's how I watched all these movies, obviously, on VHS. This was actually the last one I'd seen. I'd seen everything, single one from 1 to 9. Jason Goes Out many, many, many times. And this was like the last one because it was always rented at the video stores, and I could never find it in the stores to purchase. Everything else was always available. So this was the very last one I ever saw. And man, it's so good. After we get past the obligatory recap of everything that happens, the opening shot with the helicopter is so fucking cool in the barn.
Picks up right after they take her away and she's giggling and losing her shit. And this is when they still did this a lot. I wish more of them did this. Don't go 5 years down the line. Pick us up right where the other one ends. I loved it when the sequel did that. Because it keeps you in that, you know what I mean? It kind of keeps it flowing, in my opinion.
And it also helps with the marathons. You know what I mean? Like if you want to marathon them.
Right. But all the way up till this one, all the Friday 13th did that.
Yep.
This one gives you a recap, and it takes you directly to the morning.
Shows you all the good stuff.
Yeah, I'm watching the one from the Screen Factory set.
Yeah, I just got I got access to my buddy's Voodoo account, so I just popped that one up. Because my wife, she babysits now, so I got to have all the Blu-rays like stashed, a certain way, so the little kid don't get to them. And they're all over the floor. So, but I've got I don't have the Scream Factory. I've got the Paramount like 1 through 8 Blu-ray collection. Because I didn't want to double dip with it being so expensive when it first came out. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I might just go like at the eBay route and like get the bonus disc and stuff like that.
I got the metal box too, and I got the Screen Factory. So you know what I mean? I got that metal box. It was like $500 before the Screen Factory came out. And then right when the Screen Factory came out, it dropped down to like $60, and I got it. Gino says all good. Part 4, not my favorite, but I like it more than Jason Goes to Hell in Part 5. Really?
Yeah, most do.
This is one of my.
I get it.
Yeah, but I'm just surprised that Gino said not my favorite. Or at least what I mean, because a lot of people will be like, "This is one of my favorites." And it's one of my faves. See?
Oh, I love that when the final chapter comes and just destroys the hockey mask. That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it kind of takes after where Fright the Keith comes out, and then blam, part 2 pops up there.
Mm-hmm.
I love that theater. I got excited when I seen that. Part 6 is my all time. See, and this is probably equal second favorite with part 7 Goes to Hell, or equals or Exit or third.
See, it's another reason why I love Ninja. You know, he helps me keep that Jason Goes to Hell love alive. I know you don't.
I did.
I know
I
you don't
wish I
really care
liked it.
too much for that one, but
I wish I did, man. I've tried. I've tried so hard.
mm-hmm.
And this is yeah. What's weird about this is this one really is the, you know, I talk about end of eras and stuff a lot more, but this really is the end of, this is the end of the Alive days. This is
Yep.
end of this era. There are a lot different episodes. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you know, 5 still got feels a lot like them because, you know,
Yeah.
it follows it, but
This is the last time. Yeah, the 5 is the last time because it's not him. The killer is a human, but this is the last time Jason, is air quotes alive in the series because he's literally brought back from the fucking dead in 6.
yeah, it's you know,
I always like these cold like black screen with just the white words, for like the names and stuff like that. I always thought that was pretty neat, fun with just the score.
Yeah. This is like the last time Medea did that too. Yeah, we was talking about Joseph Zito.
Yep.
And it's funny, he teamed back up with Savini too. You know what I mean? And to this day, the Prowler is Savini's favorite makeup.
Yeah, I let's see. The first time I saw that for the first time like a handful of years ago because I was doing a video for it, and man, I really dug that one. I watched it on YouTube. You know what I mean? I found it on YouTube, and obviously the quality was kind of shit, but I still really liked the movie. I went out and bought is it Blue Underground? I think it's called Blu-ray, and it's got some handful of bonus features, and I still have fun with that one. That one's really cool.
I think it might be the one I have. I think it's Snaps. I got it right here.
Yeah, I think it's Blue Underground. I think it's the same one that did Uncle Sam and a handful of others.
Yeah, it sure is. It's Blue Underground.
Blue Underground, yep.
Blue Underground. I was talking about that the other day, man, and I was talking about their 4Ks and how they pretty much, well, it's what I was doing Maniac, and I was talking about, you know what I mean, because I was talking about, of course, talking about William Lustig. This started, Blue Underground, and how they pretty much started the horror 4K game. You know what I mean?
Did they?
Pretty much, and they're still one of the best. I mean, I have yet to hear anyone complain about a Blue Underground 4K.
See, this is what I like. This is what I like about this one because we mentioned the helicopter shot and all this stuff. We get to see the paramedics, the cleanup crew. They just put the axe in the plastic bag. We've never seen that before. You know what I mean? And that's what I think is a cool new thing. Before we get to the usual hack and slash.
And Jason's hand falls out, and that girl, she looks so just freaked out by it. You know what I mean?
They cover him up with the tarp and everything. Yeah, it's really good.
He says, I actually grew up with part 7, part 4 is still cool, and Ted White, badass as Jason. He is. He's the second best to me. Going by the extended Fred Thief universe. Oh, holy shit. Jason had been dead for some time, so he was able to come back from the dead between 3 and 4 since he was resurrected by family.
Yeah, the Friday the 13th has a really weird extended universe. I mean, there's so many comic books and stuff like that. I still have Topps, the company that made the baseball cards. They used to have a comic book company, and I have of course the Jason Goes to Hell 3 issues, but they also did a crossover where Jason fought Leatherface, and I still got those comics somewhere, and they're really, really fun. And like I said, there's been comic books on Pamela and how, what happened with her during the camp before Jason drowned. And I've got so many paperback novels and shit like that. It's really amazing how big this universe actually is outside of the movies.
Yeah,
the non-canon stuff.
That's the only way that you find out stuff about the dad and all that everybody talked about for so long. You know what I mean? Him being the Undertaker and stuff in the graveyard. Unless you read that stuff and check that stuff out, you don't know anything about it. Which I didn't. until I started. First time I heard about his dad and everything was on YouTube. I didn't know because I didn't see any comics like that.
Mm-hmm.
See, maybe it got too much hate. It's right from 2009. I like Derek Mears. Yeah, 2009 had a lot of good things about it. I think everybody shits on is the unlikability of the cast. That's the problem with that. These people just don't like the character.
That's my thing with the remake. I love Derek Mears. Derek Mears is one of my favorites as Jason, but it's just I hate everyone else in that fucking movie. And it's not like I think we said it in our when we were just talking about the series in general. You got Melissa from Part 7. She's this bitch, but she's not like obscenely annoying. Like when she gets it, you're like, yes, finally. It's like these people in the 2009, they're so over the top and obnoxious. I just don't want to fucking watch them. It's like the cast in Freddy versus Jason, in my opinion. It's just like it's too much camp. It's too much annoyance. It's too much goofy shit. I just don't like it.
It really speaks for the screenwriter's look at youth at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's the way he was picturing that age group, with that they were all obnoxious, disrespectful asses. It obviously is the way he's seeing it. Kind of like zombies. Kind of like zombies look at the white class. How you know what I mean? How they're all white trash. The same aspect.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh God, fucking Axel. She's still kind of cute. God.
How does Axel get this? I never understood that. It's like, dude, you need to be grateful because she's a lot better than you are.
I think it always made he's just there. You know what I mean? She's desperate. like cause see what it is. Okay, now we got the aerobics, but it's like she's giving him shit, and she doesn't want to, but she's just like, okay, fine. What else am I gonna fucking do? You know what I mean?
Right. The excuse to get this couple in a spot where they can be killed, split apart and killed. You know what I mean? It was just an easy first to kill.
Yep.
Yeah, Mears is definitely the most imposing Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Too badass. Travis the douche.
Yeah. Mr. Perfect nipple placement.
Oh, Trent.
Yeah, Trent.
Yeah. Oh, dude, your tits are so stupid.
God, he's so fucking stupid. Oh, man. I can't fucking stand that guy. He's worse. And I told you before why I didn't put this, as my favorite, because I hate fucking Teddy Bear in this. Teddy Bear is nothing compared to Trent.
Yeah. Lawrence Monason, man, he was great in Mask. He was great in Last American Virgin.
I love him in Mask. He's so good as Rocky's friend.
Yes. That is just a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Every time that show pulls at the heartstrings, every time you see it.
Yeah.
It's just effective. Cher is brilliant.
Yeah. Man, that scene where Rocky's at camp and she's trying to go get sober, and Sam Elliott comes and she's having that breakdown when she's writing him that letter, and he starts writing it, and she's just crying, and he just puts the paper down. He says, "I got every word." She's just so fucking good at that. You know what I mean? I think she's an underrated actress because she's just known as Cher, and she's known she's known for the music, but she's sadly known for the plastic surgeries and who she's dating and this and that. And I think she's underrated as an actress.
It's in her eyes when she realizes when he's in the bed there. When they call and say he hasn't made school. Rocky didn't miss school. He wasn't late to school.
Yeah.
When she realizes, when she hangs up that phone and she looks, and then she goes and she opens up the door and she gets pissed, and she's like, "Well, you're never gonna get like this." You know what I mean? And you can see it in her eyes. She knows, and it's just that is the hardest way to act with good eyes. Man.
Well, that's why Peter Bogdanovich hired her, was because she has sadness in her eyes, is what he said.
Yes, man. Yeah, and you can just see it when it clicks to her, because she knows as soon as they call her and say he's not at school, she knows he's died.
Yeah. Holy jumping Jesus Christmas shit.
Yeah, he goes on a ramble and then starts it back over again.
You better put that sucker in the icebox.
Yeah. I can't blame her. I don't care. Jason wasn't know come back to the dead really yet, and I don't care. I still don't want him right there where I'm hanging out, making out.
Yeah.
I don't want him in the same building,
Yeah.
thought it was bad. At least we got Kane Hodder kicking ass at Jason. Yeah. Jason Takes Manhattan's all right. It's that ending. I just can't get over it and turn back to a little kid. It's like the first time I might have rolled my eyes at probably 13th when that happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, even Kane himself says he can't stand the ending of Takes Manhattan. I mean, I get what it means. Like, that's her trauma dying and everything, but it's just stupid. But you know what? I still enjoy it.
Yeah. This takes you back because around this time, like 84, there was a lot of this on.
I remember these as a kid. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Here comes one of my favorite deaths, like in the whole franchise, is Axel's. Not just the cut, but you get the snap. I've always been a sucker for a good neck snap in a horror movie.
Now, I don't think that it always showed it like that. I think at the theater, when I went to see it at the theater, I do believe it was just I don't think it showed him doing this and turning it around.
Really? And here we go. First time Jason's ever killed someone with a scalpel.
Yeah, and then he goes from that kill to this real simple, mild kill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is simple for him.
You know what I love? I love the makeup. I love the dirty, broken fingernails.
Yes. 3 and 4 both got that really good.
Mm-hmm.
He had the longer, they're a little long, they're dirty. He just looks almost like Frankenstein hands. You know what I mean?
You got someone in the chat. They're asking if we start the movie. If you want to give a timestamp.
Second here, I'm gonna get into fella. It's very powerful. Yes, it's like sure. Yes. Too bad she doesn't do so much anymore. Hey, Maggie, how you doing? Start the movie yet? Yep. Right now we are at about 15 minutes, about 15 and a half minutes.
You know what the funny thing is? We got Tommy Jarvis here, and he's wearing his little alien mask.
Yeah.
Like I said, this was the last one on VHS that I ever watched, ever bought. I was so weirded out because the cover of the VHS has the hockey mask with the machete through the eye, but on the back it's literally got a picture of Tommy playing video games wearing that mask. So I didn't know what the fuck. Yes, see? So if you've never seen this one, you're wondering what the fuck are you getting into? You know what I mean?
Right. And you realize that this is basically Tom Savini as a kid. He's just basically.
I gotta watch that documentary that they did on him that just came out, Smoke and Mirrors, with Tom Savini. I know it's free on Tubi. I heard it's really good.
Your thoughts? He loves Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah. Was looking to know your thoughts on Jason Goes to Hell.
I absolutely love it. I get why people don't, because it's air quotes not a Jason movie, because it's so fucking different. They don't like the body hop and all this. I love it because, in my opinion, it's the most fun from beginning to end. You have so many likable characters. I mean, Steven, I think, is a great hero. I love Creighton Duke. I love, the people working at the diner. It's got great mixture of comedy. It's got fantastic gore. The shootout in the fucking diner alone is amazing. It's just so much fun. And I've loved it ever since I first saw it. Especially if you get the uncut version.
Says if you compared it with Halloween, it would rank above Resurrection, though. Yeah, it would.
My man, Crispin Glover.
Yes, Crispin Glover. He is so. One of my favorite things is as Marty, not Marty McFly, but George McFly.
George McFly. Yep. This was a year before. This was a year before.
He's laughing.
And then he starts just whispering. You don't know what the fuck he's saying. He's got a fucking for dinner. He's eating a big bowl of peanut brittle.
He's just
this Back to the Future is one of my best memories of watching a movie with my daughter. Okay, it's at the time she's just now getting into movies, like actually sitting down and watching the fucking thing.
Exactly what you're saying.
So she's watching it. She's knowing the story. She's getting into the characters. And it's the scene at the prom or whatever, the enchantment under the sea dance. I was gonna say fish under the sea dance. That the daughter says Marty's disappearing. She knows that George and Lorraine has to kiss, and then my daughter's sitting in front of me, and she doesn't know I'm paying attention to her, but I can see she's sitting on her knees and she's kind of straightening up a little bit because Marty's disappearing and the time is coming. And then right when George and Lorraine kiss, I see her fish. She goes, yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she was like 8 or 9, and like that's something I'll always remember. I mean, that's a really fucking cool thing. Like she's just yes, like because she knows what they have to do.
I have those same type of memories with both my sons. Yeah, where they're finally getting it and they get it, and they're old enough to really dig it in and really know what's up and get into it, and they haven't seen it yet and they don't know what's going to happen, and they don't realize that usually these movies do end up the best. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So they don't know. They haven't been.
Yeah. According to John Steele, here's my girl. If you remember that conversation with the hitchhiker.
Steele's crazy, man.
I love Steele, Mr. Steele. I call him. I love John. He's so much fun.
Yeah, he is.
I don't even remember what we were fucking talking about. Maybe we were talking about part 2, and he just brought up that my girl was the hitchhiker. Yeah, I think, or maybe it was just our discussion because we were talking about Terry and Vicky from part 2, and then he said I look like more of a hitchhiker type girl or type guy, you know, for me.
Yeah. He's being a total smartass here.
Yeah.
Podcast by Modest says, "What's up, Eric?"
Hey, Joe. Joe's a good dude. I love Joe a lot. Good man.
Nice to meet you, man. I'm not sure if you've been on here before or not, but if you haven't, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming by, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Loves his movies like us.
Whose favorite Friday the 13th sequel that you like more than original Friday the 13th?
If we're not talking Jason Goes to Hell, that is my favorite of the franchise. I'm gonna say part 2 is my favorite.
Yeah.
And it's always a toss up between 2 and this one. Like I could say part 2 tonight. Tomorrow I could say the final chapter because they're so fucking close.
3 is really nostalgic for me too. Of course, the first 8 are because, like I said, my mom took me to see the first 7.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean. So,
and like if I'm forced, I think like I said in our discussion, if I'm forced to pick, I think I'll pick part 2 more because this one has Teddy Bear, and I just can't fucking stand Teddy Bear and his computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just sitting there going, "Hey, Sonny, you're a dead fuck," and he's like, "Dude, you're just as by yourself as he is. At least he just woke up with somebody. You're like, you don't talk about anybody. Nobody talks about anybody used to be."
That's what I love when he comes down after scoring with the double mint twin. He gives her her panties. He's like, put this in your computer.
Yeah, and old Teddy Bear is sitting there by one of the twins, and that twin's looking so fucking bored, and he's sitting there watching a fucking stag film. Yep. It's like, what are you doing, man? You got the other one sitting right there. What is up? And
it's so funny. Like he's all by himself. He's high as fuck. He's probably drunk. He's obviously horny because he's watching the stag film. If he wasn't killed within like 30 seconds, he'd be messing around with that teddy bear that's on the fucking couch with him.
Yeah. First time I've ever seen him in was The Last American Virgin. That's just one of those shows, man.
I haven't seen that since I was teenager. I remember liking it.
Yeah, it's great soundtrack. It's got it's fun.
Mm-hmm. You know what I like in this one? It's the inclusion. We actually have Mrs. Jarvis. I really like her in this one.
Yeah.
The Jarvis family I really like. I really like them.
He showed a lot of respect for her by not showing her death.
Mm-hmm.
He just showed her after she's dead. And I think that's why it was done that way.
Yeah. Because they did film them finding her. Like I think Trish finds her in the bathtub. And I've seen like the makeup that's on the actress. But yeah, I really like her because she is, the glue for the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She's a good mom, but you can tell that, you know what I mean? She's not Carol Brady good. She's just a mom. She's just, you know what I mean? And the kids seem so natural. Like, this girl here is really natural too. Both of them are. I like the friendship. Like I said, my youngest son he just hates it with what happens to her and Peter Barton. He's fucking.
Oh yeah.
because he thinks they're so sweet, and then that shit happened. He was really mad. He's like,
well, that's what I like, Sarah. She's, and the thing is, a lot of people call her a prude. She's not a prude. She's just nervous about sex and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's a big difference.
yeah.
You know, we don't know if she's a virgin or not, but she's obviously she's very inexperienced. She's very nervous around boys in general. And then when she finally sees a boy that she finds attractive, who's showing her attention, who's not just trying to get laid, you know what I mean? You can tell he likes her. It's very sweet.
Yeah. And yeah, my son loved that couple. So when that happened, he was really just mad. And I just love that, because that right there, you know, it shows good character development. You know what I mean? Because he don't like just anything. You know what I mean?
Here, this scene is we were just talking about Mrs. Jarvis. You know, I obviously like it because we get to see, you know, Judy Arnson, you know, show her stuff. But my favorite part of this scene is not the nudity. It's when Mrs. Jarvis comes in and she looks and she sees across the way and she knows Tommy's been peeking. She gives that smirk and then she covers him up, gives him a kiss, and walks away. You know, that little shit, that little stuff.
She knows, yeah, because she thought she heard something, but she wasn't sure. But when she seen what's going on over there, the window's open, then she puts two and two together. She's like, oh,
yeah, because she could tell. Yeah, he's not covered up, and she could tell because she sees his eye. I don't know if she sees his eyes twitching or not, but she looks, and then here it comes. She covers him up. She looks, and then again that smirk she gives, because you know she probably did that when she was younger. But I love it.
Because he's still at that age where he doesn't quite realize you're making more noise than what you think you're making.
Yeah,
that bouncing around and doing what he was doing was a lot louder than what he thinks.
Yeah,
he still thinks that mom's not, you know. At that age, you still think mom and dad aren't nearly as smart as what they really are, too. Yeah. For some reason, you think ahead of them.
Yeah. She kisses him. She smiles, and she kind of shakes her head. She knows, but she's just like, boys will be boys. That's what makes her very endearing and likable in this movie.
Yeah. I didn't think we got quite enough. I'd like to have got a little bit more of it. But I'm glad they didn't show her the killing of her.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool because it wasn't necessary. And then immediately you get the two ass shot.
Yep. Joseph Zito, I liked him too because he did at least the first missing in action movie with Chuck Norris. So he's got some pedigree when it comes to directing.
Oh yeah. Missing in action. I didn't know that he did that.
He did at least the first one. I know that. I think I'm gonna check him on my phone real quick, but I know he's. Joseph Zito. Oh, he also did Invasion USA, The Prowler, one of the Delta Force movies. So yeah, so he's either horror or action, basically.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yep.
Ninja can be back in a bit. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's already. Yeah, these twins just kind of show up. I just never understood, and you got one that's completely different than the other. One's completely outgoing. It's like she goes from one dude and has no respect for all the fact that he has a girlfriend, and then when she says that's not gonna work out, she says, fuck it, I'll just go to him now.
One thing I never understood is just how random, the Pamela Voorhees headstone is, just in the middle of the fucking woods,
Yeah, and I don't think it's the same place twice ever, is it?
I don't know. I think they only show it the one time, but this is the first time. This is the first time we actually find out her name is Pamela, which I think is kind of cool. But yeah, it's just kind of weird how just out of nowhere she's just got in the middle of the fucking woods. It's just a gravestone. You know what I mean? You'd think either she'd be in a cemetery or something, but
yeah, or maybe
whatever.
Maybe it used to be one, and it's just so grown up now that who knows? Because there's a lot of those really old ones that don't even look like cemeteries anymore. Says Jason Goes to Hell doesn't take worst horror sequel no more because Halloween Ends takes the cake as the worst horror sequel ever made. Thank you very much. I completely agree.
I would say Halloween 2018 is worse than Halloween Ends, but that's just me.
I don't like any of the trilogy. I mean, Kill simply because Michael whoops ass all the way through. It's the only one I like out of those three.
Yeah.
She's so much more. She's more impressive than both the twins put together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In my opinion.
And she doesn't fucking age. She still looks the same. I follow her on Instagram, because she's always posting stuff about at conventions, and I did see her in that movie, 13 Fanboy, which I did not like. I did not like. I wanted to like it. It's about a fan of the Friday the 13th movie stalking the actors and actresses and stalking Dee Wallace, but I didn't think it was very good at all.
I hadn't seen it yet.
But she was in it, and she still looks the same fucking thing like she was in 1984. Sister's got to ruin everything.
Trish, yeah, come on, Trish. She smiles like, yeah, I would love to, but I can't.
I'm a little overdressed.
Yeah. Got a big, huge, giddy grin on her face for her old button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what I like? I like a continuity. Like we haven't gotten to the part yet, but when I think his name is Rob shows up, he's actually supposed to be Sandra's brother.
Yes. Now that tells you that no, I mean there is a continuity good, but I'm not sure exactly how long it's supposed to be. But it's actually only been a couple of days or something.
Yep, because you had part 1, part 2 takes place 5 years later, and then part 3 is the very next day.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4 are like within that weekend, 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. So between the ending of 2 and the ending of 4, that's literally less than 4 days, if that. You know what I mean? Because I don't know how many days. You know how many days there are that part 4 takes place, but it's within a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Rob's on it, man. He's immediately out there looking, and that's what about 2009. They kind of played homage to that with the brother coming to look for. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That had to have been where they got that idea to do that. Unfortunately, she's got a lousy boyfriend.
Yeah.
Vulnerable boyfriend, man. If I was her, I'd have been whooping that chick's ass. No way I'd been put for that.
Well, you know she would have if she wasn't killed, but there would have been a cat fight or something the day after.
Yeah.
There would have been that awkward everyone wakes up in the morning, you know what they did type of thing.
Yeah. Well, I will say I will say that for him at least before anything gets stupid, he at least is like. But he had already done too much, you know.
Mm-hmm. I always thought this part was fun, and she fakes her death, and then she drags her in the water.
Yeah.
And then I like how she's the sweet innocent one, but she's like, "You bitch."
Yeah.
So she's still able to get her in the water, even though she won't skinny dip. I mean, this has got, I think, one of the, like we've said it before in part 2, and this one, it's got one of the best cast of characters.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And you don't got anybody doing it just because they're doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They all feel natural. You know.
Mm-hmm.
We heard the new Friday the 13th going to be released in 2017, but it got canceled because Ring 2017 bombed at the box office.
I've heard we're finally going to get at least a TV series, and I know Cunningham's working on a reboot himself. I don't know if he's directing, but I couldn't tell you that lawsuit was going on for fucking years, and it's all because Sean Cunningham does not want to give up money. Yeah, and I've interviewed, we've talked Jason Goes to Hell. I've interviewed Adam Marcus, the director of Jason Goes to Hell, and he's worked with Sean on that movie, and he's worked with Sean before and after. And he says it's all Sean. He says Sean does not like to give anybody anything when it comes to money. They said all he had to do, all he needed to do, honestly, sign Victor a check and move on,
which he deserved, man. I mean, Victor Miller got paid once
Yep.
Out of all these years for characters that he created in the original, and he's that fucking greedy. He can't
Yep.
get the guys fucking money.
And
He
that's
can't
what
give all these millions, and he can't share a little bit of characters he didn't even fucking create.
And that's what Adam Marcus said. He says Sean's just a greedy bastard, and he doesn't care. All he cares about is green. And if you think about it, how much money has Sean made? Not just on the movies, home video, merchandise. You know, I guarantee he's made more money on merchandise than the fucking home video market. Cut Victor a check, give him what he wants, give him the credit. But no, he had to drag out this fucking lawsuit for so long. And now look what happened. He lost some rights now. You know, now Victor owns Camp Crystal Lake. He owns Friday the 13th. He owns young Jason. And I think he owns Pamela. Sean has the rights to everything else. So Sean owns the rights to adult Jason. But I don't think he owns Camp Crystal Lake. And that's going to be a big problem for a lot of the fans.
You know what I mean? That's huge. You know what I mean? And that's what he gets from being so goddamn greedy. To me, that is one of the worst human characteristics there is. Greed.
Mm-hmm.
I hate greed, man. It's a I don't know. It's just a pet peeve of mine.
And the thing, and like I said, it's not like Sean was fucking struggling either, man. He's got so much money. Like I said, just grin and bear it, sign a fucking check, and move on. Then you guys can both gain from it.
But Friday 13th, that's all he created. Period.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, he didn't create it because he flat out admitted he's ripping off Halloween.
Right. Well, he
came up with
Friday the 13th.
Oh, whoop-de fucking do, and he directed the movie.
That's
Big
it.
deal.
Without Victor Miller, there would not be any franchise. There would not be these characters. You know, because I mean, they wanted to call him Josh. You know.
Yeah.
You know, so two twin girls kind of look like Tiffany and Berthies. Yeah. I thought about we had to kind of do Fred.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Fred.
It's coming, Fred.
I like when Fred always pops up. Oh, here we go. Here we go, our boy.
Here it is. Now, this was going to be AC/DC's Back in Black.
Yeah. And this dance was not planned. Joseph Zito just told Crispin to dance. And I love how she says, "You want to dance to this? This is good." I love Crispin so much. My friends call me a Crispin cultist. You know what I mean? Because if he's in it, I'm watching, whether it's this, Willard, Ruben and Ed, a movie that no one's talking about. If he just shows up, the Charlie's Angels, Wizard of Gore, that remake, Simon Says, any of that random shit that he's doing for a paycheck, I'm watching it. He's so good at just being awkward because he's a little different, you know what I mean? But he's so much fun.
He was in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
He was What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Dead Man. He's just so good at anything he's in. And it's because of him that now they have to get permission from, like Hollywood has to get permission from the actors to use their footage. Because after Back to the Future 2 came out, he sued Bob Zemeckis, he sued Bob Gale. I think he sued MCA Universal because he didn't come back for part 2 in Back to the Future. Everyone said, well, Bob Gale says it's for money. And Crispin Glover said 100 times Bob Gale's a fucking liar. It wasn't because of money. He didn't like the ending of part 1, like how, money makes it seem like everything's better. He didn't like that happy ending. Right. So he didn't come back. He didn't come back for part 2, but they showed some footage of him in part 2. And then they had an actor under prosthetics to look like him. And they kind of promoted it like he was in part 2. So his friends would go, his family would go, and he's like, I'm not in the fucking movie. So he sued them and he won. So now it is a law in Hollywood that they have to get permission from the actors to show their footage or so they can get residuals. So, right. So I think, some good did come out of it. And he keeps telling people, he says, I have no problem with Robert Zemeckis because he's worked with Zemeckis since then. He's like, no, it's just all, Bob Gale. Bob just keeps lying, saying I wanted to be paid as much as Leah Thompson and Michael J. Fox. He's like, I was nobody compared to them.
Right.
So.
Or the underneath 80s teen comedy, My Tutor, where he's tied to the torture wheel by the dominatrix. Let's see. Originally, the way he's DC Black. Yep. That's what I was talking about a minute ago. You know, can you imagine if that was AC/DC's Back in Black? But
Oh
the
God,
bottom line is they couldn't afford to get Back in Black in there.
no
You know,
way. They'd have to get rid of like 5 or 6 characters alone just to pay for fucking Back in Black.
because AC/DC was even bigger then. 1984, holy shit.
Yep, Brian Johnson coming back to replace Bon Scott.
Yeah, that happened in 1980. By this time, they had put out, fuck, man, flick the switch, on and on and on. Man. Yeah, they were shocked. He just pissed.
Oh, there's the corkscrew.
Do what I do. God. Do what I do.
Oh, geez. Yeah, and the hand through the pants. Yeah, do what I do. And then they catch him. What a fucking tart. God, what an asshole he is. And then, but I do like how he still waves at her with his hand in his pants. You know what I mean?
Right. Shit, let me plug it up here. I'm losing power, man.
All right, you do what you got to do, brother.
All right, there we go. There we go. I knew that happened. That's why I had it ready. See, last time I had to go get one. God damn it. Yep. Ready. Let me see. This movie kind of feels like a version of the first 3 because Jason is kept hidden during the first half.
Yep.
Very, very true. Yeah. We'll do the music for Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive, yeah?
Yep.
The whole soundtrack. I used to have that tape. Who Made Who?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's actually my favorite AC/DC song is Who Made Who. It's see, there you go. You gotta be a dick. Come on, go with your girl.
That's crazy because she's great looking. She's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what else could you ask for?
And the thing is, you know, he's his own man. He can just say no. But
right,
what an idiot.
She's the new shiny toy, you know, and that's basically what it is.
And he shows it. He's like, "Oh, I done fucked up," but he still does it, and like he lets her hug him. And look at that fucking look right there. She's just, you know, she's done this many times. That look like she's giving Ted over there. She's just like, ah, she's doing it to make him jealous, make him feel bad because he's not got no girl. It's like,
yeah,
she's just an awful person.
And her sister's completely different. You know what I mean? She's quiet. She doesn't even want to be there. She's shy.
Well, she even calls her a slut, you know, right before she's killed. You know, so you could, like I said, this isn't the first time she's fucking done this.
She's ready to send her off by herself in the storm. Well, go then. It's like,
yeah, you take an umbrella. What a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
I suggest you run it through your little computer. Good for you, Jimbo.
Yeah.
Telling Teddy Bear to fuck off.
And this whole time she just well, I don't know if she knows it, but she's at least hoping that he'll follow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You always got a Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, from part 2. Paul.
Tina's were big. Tina's Paul. Yeah. Paul's usually an asshole.
Mm-hmm. And this is the part I mentioned earlier when she gets in the raft. You know, there just happens to be an inflatable raft. I love that. You know, just out of nowhere. She was Judy Arnson. She was getting hypothermia from the lake, and you know, Joseph Zito. He just kept wanting to do take after take after take, and she was shivering and getting sick. And Ted White threatened to walk off set if Joseph didn't bring her back on to shore and let her warm up with blankets. Yeah, he was about ready to quit the fucking movie for her. Which I think is pretty cool. You know what I mean?
I think it's funny about him is how he didn't do conventions for years. He wasn't a fan. He wasn't even proud of the fact that he played it until he realized how many dedicated, diehard fans there were. And you know what I mean? And then he got respect for it. You know what I mean? That's what it's quite cool.
That's how Betsy Palmer was. You know, she didn't realize it either. She thought it was just a throwaway role in a shitty horror movie. Yep. And what I've heard is, you know, because Ted White passed away last year or the year before. It's very recent. I think it was last year he passed away.
Toward the end of the year, I think, yeah.
And everyone said he was just like your grandpa. You know what I mean? He was like the sweetest man.
Because shit, he was in his 50s then, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in. I think he was in near his 80s when he passed. I'm gonna look that up, but everyone was saying, he was just a sweetheart, which is like that's what I always loved about horror movies and like wrestling. You know what I mean? The bad guys are always the nicest guys, and like look at Big Boss Man, one of the biggest assholes on screen, but everyone said he was a teddy bear.
King Kong Bundy. Great,
Yep.
nice guy, man. Chris was a nice guy. I know King Kong. I don't know him. He wasn't like my buddy, but I met King Kong Bundy
Did you?
and worked with him. Yeah, I knew Chris a little bit.
Okay, yeah. October 14th. Oh, Ted White died on my wife's birthday. 2022, he passed away. See how? Wow, he was fucking 6'4". He was a big dude.
Yeah.
Whoa, shit! I didn't realize he was that old. Ted White was 96.
So he was in his 50s, deep in his 50s when he did this.
And he was a stuntman and an actor starting in 1949. Sansa Iwo Jima, 1949 was his first role. He was a football star at the University of Oklahoma and did a bunch of westerns until 1984. Died at his home October 14th, 2022 at the age of 96. He was in Used Cars. I love that. That's a good movie with Kurt Russell.
Yeah. Pre Snake Plissken days, yeah.
And he had been a stuntman since 1955, Revenge of the Creature. He was the stunt double for the creature for the Black Lagoon. He did stunts for Escape from New York, Short Circuit, Roadhouse, Gone in 60. Shit, he was still doing stunts in 2000 for Gone in 60 Seconds.
Man.
That's cool. There you go. Now she wants to go spread her legs for Jimbo.
Yeah, and she does.
Yeah. Jimbo, I hope you strapped up, man. You know what I mean? Ugh. Be careful. Right. And look again. He's so good at being awkward and nervous. You know what I mean? Because he's like the one girl. Like you could tell he has no he's probably had more experience than the other girl, but he's very inexperienced, very nervous, and it just helps. I think.
Still kind of about half-assed heartbroken too. He just got dumped. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He didn't really want.
Yeah, like he's on the rebound. He's had Ted picking on him. He well, she only broke up with you because you were lousy in bed. And now he's got, one of the hot girls after him. And just look at the boredom and disgust, like you said, when she's in the fucking chair. She's like, oh, great, now I'm stuck with this schmuck.
Yeah. So I'll sit here and talk to him, but
it's going to be a long night.
Yeah. It's like he's playing a less cool version of the Last American Virgin. You know, because at least he was a nice kid in that, you know what I mean? And this is just a cool heart.
Oof, this is a rough kill.
There's one thing I can say about Paul. At least Paul cut it out, and then he went to go find his girl. At least I can say that for him.
Yeah, he didn't cheat on her, but man, if they both survived, he would be in that doghouse for months.
Yeah. He would end up paying the ultimate price in the end, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Payback would be ugly.
Yep. I remember the first time I saw this death.
Yeah.
God damn. Yeah, and her death was really cool. They showed how, because I have both of Savini's books, and they showed how they made the fake body cast for her, and her legs are really underneath the raft, and yeah, it was really neat.
She's in the cold ass water.
Yeah. And those books, he just showed how it was just so easy for Savini to do this stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. By this time, he had completely owned his shit, man.
Right. Dawn of the Dead, the first one of this. He did The Burning.
Prowler.
Prowler. Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Here we go.
He hadn't stopped working yet. Oh yeah.
And then of course Joseph Zito shows that one shot of Jason pulling the trigger that just made a little added. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, but we discussed the whole basement thing with Rob. He's killing me, you know what I mean? I can kind of see that. I kind of understand it, you know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of people pick on him. I think if he says it once, it makes sense, but he just says it over and over. People focus too much on that scene. I mean, it's goofy as hell, but I like Rob. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like him as a character. He's a good character. Like I said, it adds to the continuity. He wants to get revenge for his sister.
Yeah.
He looks out for Trish and Tommy. He's not trying just to get laid. You know what I mean? He's a good character.
Yeah, that's the last thing on his mind. His mind is he knows something's up. He knows something's wrong, and and then they find all these bodies and all this, So he's going to get revenge right the fuck away. He immediately hopped the bus and went to check his out.
Yep.
He hit the road immediately. He didn't give a shit. I don't got a car. I don't give a fuck. I'm going.
Yeah, because if you think about it, this is within. Because I don't know how many nights part 3 is, but this is within a week of part 2.
3, 4 days. Yeah, he's immediately going to go there and get vengeance for his baby sister.
Jason's out there. He fucked up his rifle.
Yeah.
Shredded his map. So, see, that's what I'm saying. Again, that also proves Jason wasn't mentally challenged. He knows what he's doing. He was just deformed. There's a big difference. That's what I always tell people.
That's one thing about the remake that I did. I did like how they tried to explain how he would go from here to here without you seeing him move with the underground tunnel. I liked that aspect.
I did too. And I liked how, he used the lights of the camp. He's stealing the kerosene from the farmer or whatever that's down the road. It was. Yeah, it's just the cast I don't like, but I do enjoy the remake. It's just like, man, the characters are just too much for me. I don't mind Jared Padalecki, the guy from Supernatural. He's fine, and his sister's okay. Or there's a stag film. I don't get why I don't know how I feel about. Hilarious. I know. I like she's hiding her face because she's embarrassed and she's hiding. There's such a sweet couple back there.
Yeah, my son just fell in love with that couple. He just loved the shit out of them, and he is totally offended. He's totally offended with what happens to him.
And look how bored the twin still is. She's like, Jesus Christ, will you hurry up and finish fucking Crispin Glover so I can go home?
Yeah. She's had it. It's time. All right, are you done? Can we go home now?
Yeah. Take an umbrella. What a bitch.
And you can tell it's not her first time either. This is a regular thing.
Yep.
Yeah, this is, again, here I am.
She'll be finding a new boy toy next weekend.
We'll leave without you.
Take an umbrella.
Yeah. Asshole. It's storming. It's dark. She's by herself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was just a big, huge amount of nasty murders just in the last few days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
And the group might not know about the murders, but that the twins are from the area, so they must have heard about it.
Oh, definitely.
They might not have heard of the part 3 murders, but they've definitely heard about the part 2 ones because part 2 was mentioned on the news in the beginning of part 3. So word's gotten out. Yep, you slut.
Yeah. This is one of the I like the slew of and this one they're still not showing it all either. You just see some.
Yep, I like when he just tosses her he lawn darts her into the side of the building,
which would make a shitload of noise.
Yeah, but it's starting to rain. You know what I mean? They're busy watching the film, and Teddy's high as shit.
I don't know what he finds so goddamn funny about it. You know what I mean? He just thinks it's funny shit ever seen.
I think it's just the weed. You know what I mean? Because he's calling the women's pigs in it. He says what a pig, and he's just kind of despicable by this time. Yeah. See, this is very. You want to sleep on the top? No.
No.
Yeah.
Give me a few minutes.
Yeah. Good night, teddy bear.
Okay. Good night, Teddy.
And like see how he's still holding her hand, like he's like, oh come on. You're like, oh god damn it. I guess it's just me and the bear now.
Yeah. Everybody's let you with your little stag film.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the last time we see Mom, I think.
Yeah. I think it's in the alt because I know the Blu-ray has the alternate ending, and I think that's where Trish finds her upstairs. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it shows it. Yeah, it's got the lost ending. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I love how like Zito he uses the darkness and the shadows a lot in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really helps to the creep factor.
Like I think Juno is either Juno or Slasher. Fred was saying a minute ago. No, it was Fred talking about how you don't really even see Jason for a lot of the show, so it's not like you see him hulking throughout the whole show. Yep. I loved the first four where they did that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you went from the first four, and then kind of five's kind of like these two, and then you went to almost a completely different franchise.
Yeah, because if you think about it, it's like you don't see him like his full body in this. Oh Jesus! Until we got like the last half hour.
Mm-hmm.
Same with part 2. I mean, he shows up a little earlier, full body in part 3, with the spear gun and stuff. But yeah, he like we just see his hands, or we see the shadows, just like in part 1. We just see Mrs. Voorhees' hands and stuff like that.
Yeah, the full body shot was just to show off his new mask, basically. Because before that, and for a little while after that, you don't see him again. You just see him just during that.
Yep.
And then you don't see him again, I think, until he's squeezing a little big head and his eyeball pops up.
Yep.
Well, you see him briefly down in the basement or whatever when the Tommy Chong dude goes down there.
Yeah.
I was discussing the Tommy Chong dude. He was a take right off the Chong.
Oh yeah, he had full beard, loved his weed, bandana, glasses. He just didn't have the voice. That's it. Right. I'm surprised his fucking name wasn't Tommy. You know what I mean?
Or they could have just skipped the middleman and just called him Chong.
Yeah. Or they didn't even make a mention. Like they could have at least, someone could have was, arguing with him or picking on him and could have called him that, But no.
Yeah, because it was obvious. I remember seeing it as a kid. I'd already seen a little bit of them, the Cheech and Chongs as a kid, about the age about 10 or 11. So I knew, and I remember thinking as a kid, thinking, man, I didn't know the difference at the time. I was thinking, is that Chong?
Yeah, I think the only way they got away with it is, this guy wore a blue bandana and Chong always wore the red one,
Yeah.
The only fucking. It's just like in Freddy versus Jason when that stoner is just a fucking ripoff of Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
Right.
The same fucking thing.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. You can't fault them for ripping it off because, like we've said, the first movie is a fucking ripoff of Halloween. So.
Well, the whole idea was Cunningham basically he's like, hey, you know what I mean? And he straight out, at least he straight out admitted it. He was like, hey, I seen the killing they made with that. And I thought, hey, I'll just rip that off.
Yep. Like I said, he wanted to make his money. And it all started.
And they didn't want to give anybody else it. Nope. I mean? It's like, dude, even the one that created your characters. Damn, dude. Throw him a bone, dude.
Yep.
Dude struggling all these years. And come on.
And that's the thing is, Adam Marcus gets a lot of shit for Jason Goes to Hell. And a lot of the changes were Sean's idea. And everyone attacks Adam for it. Like Adam is flat out called Sean a liar because he says that Sean said, get the hockey mask out of there. Think of something different. So Adam and his writer, they thought of this idea, and now Sean denies it. And Adam's just like, you're a fucking liar. Come on. I'm this 23-year-old guy, fresh out of film school. Of course they're going to listen to Sean. They're going to take Sean's side and not his. You know what I mean? But he's just a greedy guy, and he's just a fucking liar. Which is disappointing, but you know what? It is what it is.
57 and a half minutes, Casey was wondering.
The pace on this one is great too.
Oh yeah, definitely. It seems like it goes quick, man. Anytime you're an hour and a half seems like 3 hours, it's a bad thing. But if you watch an hour and a half, an hour, 45 minutes, and it goes quick, like you're going, damn, it's almost over.
Yeah, it's hard to believe we've already been watching this for like an hour.
Yeah. Dude, she's lucky because he'll know who in the hell's in his tent.
Right. And that the fucking machete comes close to her too. Boom. You get that cool fake out. Yep.
Yeah. What are you trying to do? Kill me? Like,
well, I guess. Whoops, sorry.
Well, you can imagine who in hell could possibly be in his tent. Last time he seen in there, the gun shit all like that.
Yep.
And here he is. He's worried about
yeah. That's all he cares about. But that's Ted just rammed it into his fucking brain, and that's the reason why his girl dumped him.
Yeah, yeah. And being a teenager, being a young guy like that, of course he's worried about that.
Yep.
That's why at the top there, that's the last thing you want to be thought of, you know?
Mm-hmm. Especially if you don't have that much experience, you know what I mean?
That's a kiss of death, man.
Yep.
Like it, he figures he's asking the right person, you know what I mean? He figures she'd know.
Yep.
She's like, no. You know what I really think? I think
I like his little chuckle, like he's like, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, because while he was asking her, he almost regretted it after he asked her. Because he asked her, and he was like, God, do I really want to hear this answer?
Mm-hmm.
But some people will be real honest with you.
Yep.
Well, you weren't dead, but I wouldn't exactly put you in the top 10.
And she's willing to go again, so that's real. Like, look at how his attitude changes now. You know what I mean?
He got swag now.
Yep.
He's gonna come down and be all cool. Shit, check this out, motherfucker. Shut your.
Look at he's here. Ted would, hey, watch this stag film. He's like, no, why don't you run this through your computer, you fucking fat. Congratulations, yeah. Why don't we celebrate? Nah, I'm gonna go get laid again. You enjoy your movies.
Yeah. Just sit here and watch you watch this and giggle like a goof.
Where the hell's the corkscrew?
Yeah. Ted.
Yep. Savini showed how he did this. He had the meat cleaver. Obviously the hole was cut out and they put it to Glover's head, but then
like
they
yep, and then like machete zombie, just reverse. Yep.
In reverse. Yep.
Did that first in Dawn of the Dead. Yep.
Yep. Crunch.
Oh, there it is. He found it for you. Oh.
And that little bit of his head shakes a little bit when the blood's coming out.
Yep. Which your brain would be a total shock, man. It'd be a total shock. Because your brain doesn't feel pain, but everything around it sure as hell does.
I always liked her kill, because the Friday the 13th movies, they're known for like the over the top stuff. I really like the simple stuff. Like I said, I like a good neck snap. I like how right here where she's thrown out the window in slow motion, and when Jason's on the ledge, and his arms are up in the air. And she's just sailing through it. That just looks so fucking cool, in my opinion.
If he hits that, it's impact. Blam! You can see the window say.
Yep. Right here. Yep. Boom. And then right here, he just looks so fucking cool with his arms up in the air.
Yeah, tossed it. Yeah. And here it is. Blam!
Bam!
That looks so fucking painful. There with the windshield, the windows, everything.
Yep.
That hurt for just the initial blam. I guarantee it was like.
I hate to have been that.
Like you're a kid or whatever, you get hit real hard in the back and you can't breathe for a minute.
But I hate to have been. I would have hated to have been that stunt double.
Oh yeah, that looks. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, see, he's already got clippings. He's been doing his homework the last couple of days. That's why I've heard a lot of people talk about this part and his connection to it. And acting like they act like it's been a year or two when it's only been 3 or 4 days. They act like it's not good continuity. which no, it doesn't say that it's been months or years.
Right.
He just did his homework quick and went.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's been enough time.
Yeah, there's newspapers, they come out every fucking day. And like I said, if Sandra's been dead, you think, let's just say part 3 was at least 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's had at least 1 or 2 days in between that. Plus, like I said, part 2 was already on the news at the beginning of part 3.
So it's been
so
close to a week ago.
So it's at least been 2 or 3 days for him outside of what's happening in part 3 to get the newspaper clippings to find out that, well, obviously she would have been, her body would have been identified. You know what I mean? The family would have been notified. They might not have had the funeral or whatever, depending on the time, but yeah, he would have already known that she was killed. He would have known she was killed at the training camp or whatever you want to call it, that they were at the counselor training camp. So yeah, I think it works perfectly.
Yeah, because they definitely those weren't some of the bodies that were taken back to the little makeshift cabin. They were still in the.
They were still there. Yep.
Yeah. These two didn't even really get to. I mean, they got to enjoy a little bit, but not nearly like the other two.
Yeah. I think this is probably afterwards. Because she was already in her 90 and stuff like that, waiting for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Or they could just be warming up. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't really get into that.
Right. Which I think works, because these are the innocent two. It's everyone else. I mean, he skinny dipped, but still, like, they're the more innocent of the two. They're staying out of the drama. You know what I mean? They're the ones in the back covering their faces when they're watching the film and stuff like that. So,
well, if he is more experienced, I think he's a little more experienced than she is.
Yeah,
he's bringing himself down to her level and being respectful of how she is.
Yeah, because you can tell he genuinely likes her. He genuinely likes her. He's not just trying to get laid.
Yeah, she's bringing out that in him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the same time, I don't think he's the same slut that say maybe Paul.
No, he's probably had his fun, but he's not banging chicks left and right. Boom. I love the blood on the screen. Yep.
And the cut as it's going down.
Yep.
I always wanted to project through shit like that. I never have. I always kind of wanted one just to show some old film.
I remember them from school. We still had them in school.
Yep. I don't think that they should. I don't think they have that anymore. What I mentioned to my son is, I don't think they show them on projectors anymore at all.
I have to ask my daughter. She's only in 5th grade. I don't think they would have that stuff.
But yeah, I don't think they have in a long while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I'm in love. Yeah.
She's definitely giddy up.
And he said, "Huh? Nothing." Yeah.
So if he actually heard that, which he probably didn't, but if he did, he's thinking, "Whoa."
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think they didn't do anything yet, because she says she's going to meet him in the bottom bunk. So they're just having fun right now. And I love how she just shakes her head and smiles when he's singing that stupid goofy song. He's just having fun, trying to have her have fun.
Yeah.
And that's what helps. These characters are good characters. They're not just typical throwaway slasher fodder. You know what I mean?
Right. This one written by Barry Cohen.
Oop! I think I just dropped my soap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a shock to his system. Blam! Crunch.
And yeah, this again, and you see, like I said, the dirty, broken fingernails and stuff like that. And this is a. It's not over the top, but it's still a painful death, because he doesn't just like grab his face. You see him like crunch his nose. You know what I mean?
And
crunch his nose and the blood comes out. And then he puts his hand under his jaw and just they're right there,
Good,
boom.
good
Fingernail. Oh, the crunch, the blood. Right there.
Oh, yeah. So that was either his skull or the wall or both punching him.
I think it was a little bit of both, yeah.
Yeah.
And then who knows?
Yeah, I seen my son seen that. My son was like, "Oh man!" I was like, "Oh, dude, it is crazy."
Yeah.
You know, the ones that get the worst are the ones that are the sweetest and the ones that seem like they're, you know what I mean, the coolest.
Me and my wife, when we watch slasher movies all the time, when we see, okay, we really like this character, then we'll look at each other and we're like, okay, well, we know they're gonna die.
Yeah. How long do we get them?
Yep. And I feel sorry for her. She sees him dead, hanging over the top, over the sliding door. And the first person she yells for is Samantha.
Yeah. Yeah. Her buddy, her best friend.
Yep.
It's cool little creative death here through the door.
Right through the door.
Simple.
Yep.
Not over the top. Just. Ugh.
And that was a good effect too of her laying there on the ground. You see a little bit of the blood pumping out of the towel. There's a reason why Savini is the man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. Him and Nicotero. Nicotero. He got started with Savini on I think it was Day of the Dead.
Yeah. Him and his buddies had started a little bit of a company, and they'd done a little bit. But Savini, and he found out about that company and found out that, and met Nicotero and took him under his wing and said, "Hey," told George about him, and they had him in Day of the Dead. Ever since then.
Just Day of the Dead was what, 86, I think?
85, 86, yeah.
85, yeah. So Savini is already fucking the man by then. It's always cool. It's always cool seeing Nicotero show up in the movies he does. He helps with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he always says he wants to participate, and lots of times he'll do the prosthetics on himself. Like, I mean, he gets killed in From Dusk Till Dawn. He's in that. He gets killed in Day of the Dead. He gets killed in the Piranha remake. Maniac. And
his head exploded. Yeah.
He's one of the mutants in the Hills Have Eyes remake. He's the one with the brace, the neck brace or the head brace, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And then now he's or it's canceled now, but he was Walking Dead, so.
Oh, he's Nicotero. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Nicotero.
I was talking about the Savini's head explosion in Maniac.
Yeah.
His disco boy.
God, I haven't seen that movie in probably 20 years. I've only seen it the one time. I want to revisit it. I remember, honestly, you know what I remember the most about that movie, other than, the head explosion and then, the scalping dream at the end, is I watched that movie and I just felt fucking dirty. You know what I mean? Yeah. I felt like I wanted a shower afterwards, just the way they made. Because you remember back in the 80s when New York was just disgusting, and that's what they wanted you to feel.
Yeah.
So I do remember that. Like, after I don't remember much about the movie. I have to revisit it. But I just remember, man, I just felt so disgusting. Just not because of the content, but just where it was filmed and just how it looked. I felt gross.
Henry's the same way.
Yeah, and Henry was Chicago.
Yeah, it's just got that. It's just got that dirty vibe to it, man. Because it feels so fucking real. It just feels.
Especially with Otis.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
I think Otis in that movie. I think Otis is worse than Henry, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah. Yeah, because Henry had his things, but Henry wasn't a rapist. Otis was, and like Henry said, he's like, "That's your sister, man." Just Tom Towles was scary in that one.
No, Otis, it's your sister.
Yeah. When he grabs, he's like, you don't do that."
Yeah, it's your sister. I'm sorry, Henry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And like I said, I love when people only know Michael Rooker from Mallrats or Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, watch him in a Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, and that's all I tell them. I did that with my buddy once. I was working with him, and he only knew Mallrats and Guardians and Cliffhanger and Slither. He knew him from Slither, but Slither's pretty goofy. You know what I mean? So I said, I gave him my Blu-ray of Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. He watched it that night. The next day at work, he gave me the Blu-ray. He looks at me, he's like, "You motherfucker!" Like, hey man, and that was his first fucking movie.
He's chilling in it, man. He's chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's yeah. That's my favorite role of his, man, because he is absolutely chilling.
Mm-hmm. Hard to believe that that's his first role. And look at him now, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. I'm gonna have some fun Monday with that one.
I bet.
And then right next night, I'm gonna do the original My Bloody Valentine. Two completely different things. You talk about, you know what I mean?
I saw that. I saw that for the first time last year, or the year before, My Bloody Valentine.
Wow.
Yep. I got the Scream Factory version when it first came out. Or it might have been, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but when that came out, I got it. And I really liked it. I do enjoy the remake a lot, though, too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That original one, though, man, it's just, you know what I mean? It's got such a good story. It's got the love triangle. It's got, you know what I mean? It just shows that those Canadian horror films are good, man.
Mm-hmm. I love the Ballad of Henry Warden, too. That song. It's just so chilling and cool. And then I don't know if you've watched the bonuses on the Scream Factory when they have that reunion. That bonus, that one, that's pretty cool, and they have them singing the Ballad of Henry Warden. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Is it Henry or Harry Warden? I think it's Harry Warden.
Harry.
Yeah, that's it. I'm thinking Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. That's why.
Harry Warden. Yep. Yeah. I got the whole thing with it. I got that one and the deluxe and the posters and the figure. Matter, speaking of that, I'm still waiting. I think everybody else is too. Waiting for my Stevie Wayne figure from the fall. They still haven't got that out to people yet.
Really?
Adrian Barbeau figure? Yeah, they still have not got it out yet. There was a big.
Adrian Barbeau, man, I was so in love with her when I was younger, dude.
Oh yeah. Yes. She yeah. And she carries the fall really well.
Mm-hmm. I love her in Escape from. Oh, he's killing me! Run!
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. He's just that he's letting her know I'm not going to come out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. Yep.
That's the whole point behind that.
Yep.
He's killing me. I'm not winning this fight. Go.
Mm-hmm. And she goes back down, and he, don't get your brother and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I mean, what else could he possibly have done besides he's killing me? Oh, get out of here! I mean, Jesus Christ, come on now. He couldn't have let her know anymore.
Yep.
That means don't come down here.
Got, right through the stairs.
Thumb's house is also in the House of 1,000 Corpses. Yep.
Yep. And he's also got that little cameo in Devil's Rejects.
He's also remake of Night of the Living Dead.
Yep. I you know, that's another remake that I really like. Savini's Night of the Living Dead. I like that one a lot.
Pretty good. You know me, I'm a purist. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I usually go with the OG.
Yeah, but I give you credit because when you see a good remake, you acknowledge it.
Yeah, I'm not such a purist, or that I'm gonna, no matter what, say that it sucks.
Right.
The Dead remake's good. The Sting, Dawn of the Dead, Evil Dead, they're all good remakes.
Yeah, and see the thing is, there are times when I think because we did the Dawn of the Dead remake with Mike, American Werewolf in Jersey, and I think you were the only one that preferred the original, but I think you and I agreed on preferring the remake of Evil Dead, didn't we?
Yeah. It's just much more better. It's just much better put together, man. It's as far as a horror film, that's a fucking horror film.
Yeah. Oh, when he just tries to get through where Jimbo's in his way, and he just puts his hand on the body and just rips him. You see the hand?
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Why is that? Why we got such a wide shot? Boom.
Yeah.
He just fucking like hammer throwed him through that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was like Ultimate Warrior, like gorilla press. He just heaved him. And then right here, when he scared the shit out of Corey Feldman in this.
And she just goes stupid on him. Bam, bam, let go of him, motherfucker.
Yeah, and she's whack, and see, that shows how smart she is. She's whacking him with the hammer in the mask, and then she looks at the hammer, she flips it around and hits him in the neck. And then look, he's like, "Fuck you." Now he's pissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I like about Ted White. He kicks down that door and he fuck you with the hammer.
Says he's throwing on the remake. It's not great as the original. The original, I believe, a lot of times more creepy and disturbing, most definitely. And remake, correct. You ruined it. Nothing beat the original. No, I love the original, My Bloody Valentine. That's the one I'm doing Tuesday. I grew up with that. I'm totally nostalgic with it. Like I said, I'm gonna take names and kick ass Tuesday night on that.
Very cool.
I have one I'm nostalgic about that I grew up on. I always get stupid on it, especially ones that I hold right here. The ones that are in my top 10 or 20. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be in a real form.
Cool.
Looking forward to that a lot. Love doing all these now that I've I'm not nervous, I'm comfortable and everything.
It takes a while, dude, man. It takes a while.
It's not easy.
No, not at all. I still have times when I'm just like, I could have been better. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
Oh, and you hear the sizzle.
This goes to show that, it don't matter if you get busted with a TV, you can survive it. It's a horror film. You can survive a TV.
Right.
He's a maniac.
Unless it's what's his face from Scream. He's fucking dead. I keep telling people, I said, why do you want Matthew Lillard to come back in Scream 6? No, stop it. But
because they're tired of new people having problems with Sydney or whoever. People crawling out of the woodwork having trouble. They want an OG to come back that would have reason to.
Right, I guess. And who am I to judge? I don't give a shit. As long if you guys are enjoying the movie, have at it.
I want to. I'm not with all these. Like you notice you haven't seen any Scream 6 videos from me.
Right.
You're not going to, because it had its heyday. I'm not with all these remakes of these Screams like most of your and I called it out the other night. A lot of these people are doing them to get and the way I feel about it, how I am. I say how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it for views. A lot of them are. I'm not saying everybody. I'm not saying no names, but a lot of them are, and I think that's bullshit because everybody could be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's fucking bullshit, man. Get on, do something original.
What I think is the problem is, and I think this had a lot to do with why I didn't enjoy. Well, I didn't enjoy Halloween Ends, for many reasons. But the main reason why I wasn't excited for it, and the reason why I'm not excited for Scream 6, is because it's everywhere.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's everywhere. Now, see, I like that she jumps out the window. That was fucking smart.
That's like cheap. That's like getting cheap heat in wrestling.
Yeah.
Showing up there you go. Thanks. I'm glad to be here in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
Anybody can get a pop off that.
Yeah.
Anybody can. That's cheap heat. It's the same thing. That's cheap view.
It just makes me. It just makes me not really give a shit about the movie because I'm just tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing talking. If you're excited, God bless you. You know what I mean?
Right.
We like what we like, but I'm just like, just do a video.
They don't like it.
Let's just say the movie comes out in March. You want to go through all the movies. That's the perfect time to do it. But if the movie doesn't come out in March and you're doing videos in November the year before, you know what I mean? It's just too much for me. But that's just me. And honestly, I'm afraid to revisit the Scream series because my tastes have changed, and I'm afraid I'm gonna hate the Matthew Lillard character. I think I'm afraid I'm gonna hate the Jamie Kennedy character because Meta has been done to death.
Right.
smart, air quotes, smart teens have been done to death. And I want to remember enjoying at least the first two movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. The remake that I've enjoyed, like there's The Thing, The Fly, The Ring.
Hills Have Eyes. Hell yes.
Yeah, yeah. Scream 5. The Ghost of
Oh,
Christmas
right there
Story.
down the fingers.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, he looks at it like, oh God, man.
Now, see, I'll say this: as much as I like this movie, I never really cared for him trying to trick Jason by shaving his head.
You know,
I never liked that.
trying to fuck
But,
with him. He's just trying to get his head, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. David Gordon Green directing the reboot sequel. I'm so scared for that.
He's directing 3 of them,
Oh my God.
and they've revealed what the basic plot is.
Oh, have
The
they?
basic plot is a mother's daughter is possessed by a demon, and then she goes to Chris McNeil
Well,
for
okay,
help.
yeah.
But that's it. I mean, that's it. I'm like, that's the only reason why she's there is because and who knows how long Ellen Burstyn's going to be even in the fucking movie.
Probably not too long. I mean, she is in her 90s now.
Yeah. So I don't, my expectations are super, super fucking low for it.
Me too.
So we'll see.
I wish they wouldn't do it. God damn, leave it alone. I mean, I hope to God I wish more than anybody that this thing kicks ass.
Oh yeah, I don't want to. See, that's another thing I hate. Again, and you know me, I don't give a fuck either. I'll say what I want to say. I hate when movies come out and people get mad. They say, this movie shouldn't be made. I want it to fail. Why do you want a movie to fucking fail? I mean, it doesn't hurt you when a movie comes out. You might not like it. You might not want to see it, but if a movie fails, then it fails for the director, it fails for the actors, it fails for the writers. I mean, just calm the fuck down a little bit. I want horror movies to be successful no matter what.
Yeah. I don't want another suck ass one. I want good ones. I'm definitely not rooting for it to fail. I mean, I hope to God it's good.
Here we go, Gore. Here's your favorite. Oh. And he groans. I love that.
He screams too. He says, "Oh!" That's the only time he ever makes that noise.
The slide, and you see, look, his head's moving. I love how they kept that in. How the top of his head just kind of.
Yeah, and that whole time you can see the eyebrow kind of going. And you can it's just, oh my God, ow! I watched Scream Trilogy on YouTube, free movie. Yeah, I like the first 2, and I like 4. I like 4. Of course, how I feel like Hayden Bentley.
I really like 1. I think I prefer 2 over the original. I fucking hate 3. I hate 3 with a passion. Hate 3 because it's so fucking dumb. I think I tolerated 4 because I hate 3 so much. But I do kind of like 5. I think there's some good parts in 5, but it's just like after 2, I really don't give a shit. Here we go. Here's where Tommy loses it. And even I like Kimberly Beck. She's like, Tommy, what the fuck are you doing? Chill out.
You don't want to know what your thought on the Saw films is.
First one is great. Second one is my favorite.
That's my favorite too.
Second one's my favorite. Third is really good. Then it's peaks and valleys, up and down. 4 is decent. 4 is decent. 5 is below that. I think 6 is pretty good. The final chapter, I think, is okay. Yeah. Jigsaw was okay, but I really liked Spiral, the one with Chris Rock and Sam Jackson. Actually, I liked that spinoff. So the first 3, excellent, and then it's just up and down. You know what I mean?
I'm curious about this next one because we're getting told about, and more importantly, we're getting Tony Smith back. I think it really makes me curious what they're thinking about.
Here's the thing.
Are they starting over?
No, it's called Saw X, so it's going to be another sequel. I mean, here's the thing. How many? And I love Tobin Bell, but how many fucking flashbacks can you do?
Right.
You know, Jigsaw's been in every Saw movie other than Jigsaw and Spiral. How much more backstory do we really need for John Kramer?
Right.
To be honest,
every reason and everything that happened. Yeah. I mean, but maybe they're gonna do more with Shawnee because I've always said they didn't do enough without a mandatory.
True.
They cut it off just when we was getting excited about her. You know what I mean? They kill her off in 3. So hopefully maybe that's what we're gonna get.
When you find out that she's with him at the end of part 2,
that's cool.
And then when you find out that she thought she killed Eric Matthews, you know what I mean? When he's chained up, the Donnie Wahlberg character, I'm like, she's a psychopath. You know, Jigsaw had his reasons. You know, he's still not right in the head, but she was the dangerous one because she didn't follow the rules.
Right.
She's the one that made the acid trap. That's one of my favorites, where the she's locked up with the thing on the rib cage. She got to get the key out of the acid. She made it so she couldn't get out. You know, that type of stuff I liked.
Yeah, Shawnee was great in it, and I never thought we got enough. So hopefully that's what we're gonna get.
She's a great scream queen too. Between that, The Blob, she's in The Stand, the 1990 The Stand. Yeah, she's in The Stand. Oh, she plays she plays a great crazy chick.
Yeah. She's in there trying to molest Rob Lowe's character.
Yep.
And then of course you got M.O.N. with him, and and he's wanting to take care of him instead. You know, and she's like, "Oh, just forget about him." You know what I mean? She's like he don't have no feelings or nothing. And
he's just a big dummy.
Yeah. He's like, "No, get away from me." She's like, "Oh, you screwed both of you." This is what she goes, "Yeah."
And then she's trying to snipe him from the windows and stuff like that. Yeah, she's fucking Looney Tunes, but she was so good at it.
And it's fantastic. Yeah, for a long time I wasn't thinking about it, and I was thinking that was before The Blob, and I come to realize no, The Blob was before that.
And The Blob I think was 86 or 88, and The Stand was 90. Because I remember when that came out to TV. You know, all my friends were talking about it when that miniseries came out on TV.
Yeah. I've seen that a ton since that. Yeah, I was trying to think of the Rob Lowe character Nick.
Yep, Nick Andros.
And Tom
Cullen.
Tom Cullen. M-O-O-N. That spells Tom Cullen.
Yep. M-O-O-N. That spells peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah. I'm from Arkansas. M-O-O-N. That spells Arkansas.
Yep.
That's great. And he was also in Oz.
He was on Coach. Yep. He was on Coach as Dauber. You know, if you ever watched the TV show Coach with Craig T. Nelson.
And doesn't he do the voice of Patrick on SpongeBob?
That I'm not sure.
It seems like he does.
I know he was Jason Segel's dad on How I Met Your Mother. So yeah, he pops up every now and then.
Well, there it was the final chapter. I'm not sure how far I'm going to continue it. I might do 5 simply because of Deborah Voorhees and shit.
Yeah.
Just because I know.
Mm-hmm. I know. No, but, we've already explained it.
But you know me.
Yep.
But thanks to everybody for coming through, and
it was fun, dude.
Do you know what's any new horror films you're looking for?
Me? Oh God. Interested in Saw. That comes out in October.
They've already heard all mine, so now they want to click you about
the only one that I'm really excited for is the new Evil Dead movie.
Oh yeah.
That looks like it's gonna be fucking awesome. That looks so good.
Also, the Knock at the Cabin. I'm curious about that too.
That came out this week, and I've heard it's really, really fucking good. I've heard Batista is really good in it.
Awesome. It seems cool because it's like if you people don't, if you people don't accept this or whatever, then every time you refuse, then hundreds of thousands of people die. Yep. And it's just like, it's like, well, I'm intrigued by that. So and I'm rooting for him to have a hit because I like most of his films, but a lot of people are really critical of him.
See, that's the thing. Well, in the beginning, he kind of shot himself in his own foot because now everyone's expecting the twist ending thing, and that's all they look for. I think he's how do I say it? Maybe unjustly criticized now because
Yeah.
he is hit and miss. I Sixth Sense was great, but the replay value of that because of the twist ending isn't as exciting. Excuse me. I think Unbreakable is awesome. Unbreakable is awesome. I like
That's one of
Signs.
the Sunset films.
I like Signs.
Yeah.
The Village I didn't care too much for. Lady in the Water was okay. But he's done some movies I heard was Devil, which he just produced. That's the one with the people stuck in the elevator. I think that one's really good. And honestly, I'm one of the only few people that really liked his last one, Old. I really liked Old a lot.
Old was all right.
Yeah.
I was actually a little I was a little disappointed in it. I like The Happening and The Visit too, or
See,
the Visit.
yeah, I wasn't too big on The Happening. I didn't realize what I was getting into with the acting and all that jazz, but I heard The Visit was really good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, The Visit, man. That old woman carries it, man. She is creepy as shit, man. When they chase out underneath the house, it's just like, it's like whoa. But have a good night, Juno. Thanks
Hey,
for
good night,
stopping
Juno.
by.
Yeah, thanks for the
Always nice to
questions.
meet you.
Thanks for the
Come,
questions, Juno. Appreciate it.
come, come and see me. Come and see me Monday night, where I'll be doing Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for coming through. I thank Eric again.
My pleasure, dude.
Always great to have you, man. You're a great friend. You're fun as fuck to do this shit with. And we gotta hook up again here soon, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, we talked beforehand. We won't reveal what couple movies we might discuss, but yeah, it'll be fun. Glad to have been able to participate tonight. It was fun, dude. Always is.
Yeah, we talk daily, so we'll come up with something. Maybe
Oh,
next week,
absolutely.
maybe the one after.
Okay.
But I'm gonna get some rest, man. You get some rest. We're getting to be old guys. We need the rest.
Yep.
So take it easy, Ninja. Thanks for coming through, and thanks again, Eric. I'll catch you later.
Yep. Cheers, everyone.